Well, here we go then. Welcome to episode 26 of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. And what a week it is of Greyhound Racing. We are going to tackle 4 big finals. Tony Bullen joins us. We're in good company again. Tony, we've got 4 big finals to get stuck into this week. It's never ending.
Yeah, this is like going to a restaurant, Dave, and the food gets better every week and you just keep turning up. But yeah, it's absolutely fascinating, and variety as well that we've got across the country.
Plenty of that as well. Do remember to get involved yourselves. Like, comment and subscribe. Let us know below if you are following the bets. We blanked last week with the best bets. However, I thought we fared quite well as we pieced our way through the Regency and the Sussex Cup, including Cloney Uriel at 10-1. So we'll take that.
100% take that and some, I think. Profit's the name of the game, and that race was certainly showed profit.
Right, let's get to it then. Thursday night, 2 big finals. Bitches, £7,500. Arc, Angel of the North, Oaks final. And the £12,500 Time Northern Flat final. First off, we will start with the Bitches. And we're going to have a look at the fastest semi-final winner first. It was in semi-final number 1. This was the fastest winner of the night as well last week, and this was absolutely incredible. Leah's Dream for Barry Denby, the Nottingham Raider here. I had to double check the time here, Tony. 28.08. I know she starts and stays, but that was absolutely incredible. Raspberry Katie in track 2 was the other qualifier.
Yeah, her chance was helped a little bit. 4 and 5 just come together initially out the boxes, but once that enabled Leah's Dream to attack the first bend, because she does edge across, but she's brave when doing so. And the thing with Barry Denby's bitch, we've seen her in the past, Dave, she's come from off the pace to win races. So when a bitch of her ability gets on the bunny, she goes and puts up a fast time, but it was an exceptional time.
Yeah, brilliant. 28.08 there. Absolutely incredible. One of the fastest times I think ever recorded over the 480 up at Newcastle. Right, we'll move swiftly on then to semi-final number 2. And the Sunderland Puppy Cup winner here, Untold Ruble for Tom Hilbron, 28.30. Coolavani Mercy, dual Category 1 finalist, Chase Home. She was the original anti-post favourite, Coolavani Mercy, so she's qualified as well. We're looking at traps 1 and 5 here.
Yeah, she's a nice type, this Untold Ruble. I'm still trying to get a handle on her. I wasn't necessarily sure she stayed strongly, but she's sort of allaying that theory of mine. I think she's staying pretty strong over course and distance, and if she gets on the skin, she's a match for any day. She's a winning bitch. I mean, she already boasts a 50% strike rate, won the Puppy Cup at Sunderland, but yeah, I think she's staying a lot stronger than I thought she originally would, and she's going to be a big player if leading 1 and 3 up.
Yeah, she's a nice type. She's got the fast start and she's got the early pace, and it is a bit of a speed track up at Newcastle, so getting off the front, not necessarily a bad thing there, of course. Right, semi-final number 3 then. Let's have a look at Southfield Daisy in track 3, 28.78. Coppice Ella, I think they're little sisters as well, these two. Look out for the Black Jacket, who comes from a long way back, but this race did slow up at the 3rd turn, Tony. Yeah,
it was a race of 2 halves. There was trouble at the first bend, and then there was trouble at the 3rd bend. I mean, I think Kevin Hutton would be delighted with the outcome because it didn't look promising in the early stages, but you ride your luck in this game. The winning time told you the scrappy nature of the race, but both of Kevin's bitches, he sent down a strong raiding party, and these little sisters have done themselves justice.
Yes, indeed. Both British bred as well. Forrest Natalie as well. What a brood bitch she is for Kevin and his team. Right, they were the first 2 home, and Mr. Hutton sends out 1/3 of the final. Let's have a look at the lineup then. There will be £7,500 up for grabs in this final. The 9-11 on Thursday night up at Newcastle. Southfield Daisy on the inside at 10-1. Untold Ruble 3s in 2. Raspberry Katie 8-1. Coolavani Mercy 7-2. Coppice Ella 11-2. And Leah's Dream, who's now 9-4. Now, we're sitting pretty anti-post here because I know you went for Coppice Ella at 8, who's made it, and I went for Leah's Dream at 8. Now, do you want to stick or twist? What's your view? If you haven't had a play yet, how would you attack this race, Tony?
I think for 5 to get involved, we need a little bit of scrimmaging at the head of affairs, which could easily happen. I mean, if 2 pins on the inside and 6 is edging across, if them 2 meet, Coppice Ella, he's one of those that can take advantage of any shenanigans. But I do feel that if Leah's Dream can show the same urgency that's been on display in the heat and semi-final, I think she's going to take the beating, Dave.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 votes for Leah's Dream in the Angel of the North Oaks final as well, because as I've already said, she starts and stays. I think she's got the perfect bitch inside her in Copicella, who's not really going to offer much to the turn. I mean, she did show a little bit of early in the first round, didn't she? But we're now up in class here, and I think if 6 and 5 come away level, I at least think 6 will have the legs of 5. 4's not showing as much early as she did maybe when she burst onto the scene. Kulavani Mercy as well. Remember, I think she finished runner-up in the Puppy Cup down at Romford. That's how much early she was showing. So I think the coast is clear for Leah's Dream around the outside here. Of the others, 2 an obvious danger.
Yeah, it's just where they meet at the bend, because Leah's Dream will edge across. If they're level, they could easily bumper cars around the first 2 bends, and all of a sudden the complexion of the race changes and probably brings Kevin Hutton's pair into the fray.
Yeah, Southfield Daisy in 1 and Copicella in 5. Maybe 2 to ponder for full cast and tri-cast. Right, that is the Arc Angel of the North Oaks, one of 2 big finals on the card at Newcastle on Thursday night. The big one now, the Northern Flat, £12,500, sponsored by Time Greyhound Nutrition. And we're going to go straight into semi-final number 1. This was the fastest of the 3 semi-final winners as well. Delving Cat in 6, 28.42, beating Romeo Crossfire in trap 3. Now, keep your eyes on Romeo Crossfire here, because rides a bump at the turn, but stays on strongly. But Delving Cat out wide in trap 6, 4.58 sectional here. Tony got a nice burst of early speed.
Yeah, the local brigade have rose to the top in this event. It just shows you how crucial local knowledge can be in certain events. And Delving Cat is running out of his skin. He's really ticking over nicely. Nice bit of early pace. And when he fronts off, he's a difficult dog to pass. But Romeo Crossfire lost nothing in defeat for me. I thought ran an absolute blinder. Ran okay in the first round behind Wiki Ned as well. And all to play for. But all credit to Delving Cat. Soul wide, took advantage.
Yeah, I don't know if you can cast your memory back to one of the very first episodes we recorded. I fired loads of tracks at you. And when I got to Newcastle, I think you just said, got to run the bends. Because it is a tricky little track to run, particularly the first bend. If you've never been on screen, it's far tighter than it looks on the telly, isn't it?
Look at Roxol Nidge, one of the fastest dogs I've seen at Gracer track. He didn't take to the track. He was so quick, he just ran off at the first turns, remember? When
yeah,
he was
too
in
fast.
The puppy event.
Okay, right, let's get through to semi-final number 2 then. Now, Jimmy Fennick won this event last year with his Brookside Ritchie, and he sent out the anti-post favourite again here, Wiki Ned. Now, we flagged him up in the first round that he won, but he didn't look too comfortable on bends 3 and 4. Now, he didn't win on this occasion. Slingshot Sam got first run, 28.51. Wiki Ned did qualify from trap 1, but it was the same again. And I'm far from enthused about his claims on how he's running. I think his class has got him through here, Tony.
Yeah, it's a fun. I watched it a few times, and like you think he's just lost his action and he's going to drop through the field, and then he sort of regains a bit of momentum again. But I mean, he doesn't look happy at Newcastle. In fairness, the dog, he's not the dog that we've seen at Toaster and winning the Jim Crack at Sheffield. But the fact that he's got to the final, he could show what all the fuss was about. He could smash the bars down in the final and put up a 28-30-20 run, and we go, oh, yeah, there's the Wiki Ned. But on what we've seen, I think he's hard to back with any conviction.
Well, he has qualified. And we'll get to the draw very shortly. But well done to connections there. Slingshot Sam, easy to say. Very impressive off the front, as was Tona Legee in the 3rd semi-final, which we'll have a look at now. The winning time, 28.64. Trap 5 qualified. Trap 6, Mickey's Tribute, finished 2nd, but won't be lining up in the finals. Disqualified for the shenanigans late on here. But Tona Legee, Savva Roberts in his kennel. Savva's been in great form in recent weeks and months. Been among the winners at almost every Newcastle meeting I've cast my eyes upon. And this was another performance here that was impressive. 7th win in 13 starts.
Yeah, he's a little bit limited on the clock, but one thing he's not limited on, Dave, is that consistency at the boxes. I mean, he's got 4.47 sectionals to his name, this dog. I know he's only held on by a short head, but the Mickey's Tribute dog, I mean, no disrespect to connections or anything, but the dog should have received the red card in the first round, in my opinion. It was an accident waiting to happen. It's frustrating because he's a fast dog, clearly, but he didn't stay focused on the task in the heat. and he really did blemish his card there in that semi-final. But Tone Legee has got some brute early pace, and this is some final because it's a race to the turn, Dave.
Let's have a look at this final then. It will be the 9:28 on Thursday night at Newcastle. There'll be a £12,500 up for grabs. It is the Time Ground Nutrition Northern Flat. 5 is vacant after that disqualification of Mickey's tribute. So 1 will be Romeo Crossfire 7-2. 2 is Wiki Ned at 7-4. Slingshot Sam 11-2 in 3. Tona Legee 6s, and Delving Cat out wide in trap 6. Right, anti-post this one. You're gone, Romeo Jackson. I'm there, Wiki Ned at 5-2. Now, I was very keen on Wiki Ned coming into this, but I think the fact he was 5-2 anti-post when there was 36 dogs lining up, and now there's only 5, and he's still only 7-4, kind of tells a story here, Tony, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, he's class, and there's no way in the world any punter could turn around and say to you, Wiki Ned's a good thing for this final. You couldn't really back him with what you've seen in the heat and the semi. It's that simple. And just on that basis alone, I've got to take him on. You couldn't nail your colours to the mast with Wiki Ned. We know he's capable, but I'm just going to be against him. I'm going to be with Romeo Crossfire, just purely on the basis something's going to have to give round them first 2 bends. Now, Romeo Crossfire is capable of showing a little bit better early pace than he has himself. And I just think that the time they've sorted themselves out, Romeo Crossfire will be on the premises into the 3rd bend. And if it's a case of who wants it most and gets down to the nitty gritty, I think Romeo Crossfire's got what it takes.
That is going to be 2 votes for Romeo Crossfire, because I'm also with the red jacket. Tom Hilbrond's runner on the inside. Probably the only dog in this race that doesn't need to lead. Tucked away on the rail. I thought Wiki Ned might hold Slingshot Sam, Tona Legee and Delvin Cat all to the turn. And then the race might slow up, particularly if he wobbles round bends 3 and 4 again. So I want to be with Romeo Crossfire. I think he can come from just off the speed. Not going to come from too far back, just off the speed to come through and score. That is the Northern Flat final, part of 2 big finals on the card at Newcastle on Thursday. I remember the action will be live on Sky Sports Racing behind the red button. You'll be able to enjoy that. Right, we're going to move on then to Saturday night, and what a night it is for the sport of greyhound racing. 2 huge competitions down on the south coast. It'll be the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Regency for the stayers and the £10,000 Coral Sussex Cup for the top 4 bend dogs. Now, we'll go in chronological order. Coming first is the Sussex Cup. And we're going to sit back and enjoy this one, Tony, because the first semi-final was the 10-1 winner that we put up, Clona Uriel. 30-12 here, all about the early speed. Newin Benny, the kennel mate, in trap 6 was the other qualifiers. Early paces in 4 and 6 were the 2 that went through.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant team tactics from Derek Knight's pair. We said that they looked guaranteed to lead, be 1st and 2nd round the first couple of bends. Whoever beat who to the punch was probably going to land the spoils, but Clona Uriel 10-1 was just ridiculous price about a dog that had to be in the front rank. It was a good buckle between the pair. As I say, whoever sort of won the early battle was going to hold the edge, and Clona Uriel kept his foot firmly on the gas.
Yeah, all about the early pace there. 4:31 sectional and 4:32 sectional from the pair of them there. They were the 2 fastest sectionals as well last week. Right, we'll move on to the second semi-final then. This was Poetry in Motion. Grand of the Year, St Ledger champion, Juvenile Classic winner, George Curtis Ballymerigan Memorial Trophy winner as well. Droopy's Clue in track 3, 29.56, miles clear on the clock. Maidall from Wasted Monday, who goes back-to-back Sussex Cup semi-finals here. So 3 and 6, the qualifiers. We're running out of superlatives for this dog, Droopy's Clue. I've called him relentless, classy, versatile. He starts and stays. He's very, very good. Probably the best in the country over 4 bends. There's nothing going to knock him off the bunny when he leads. And this was a textbook Droopy's Clue performance, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, look, we touched on, will he go to the Sussex Cup? Will he go to the Regency? Whatever one he would have tackled, he would have been favourite for. And he's clearly the dog to beat in his current mood. He's shown a lot more early than he's ever done, in my opinion, over the 4 bends, Dave. And when he does, he's just a joy to watch him full flight. All he goes on and does is post very fast times. But this is a race where I do feel he's going to have to come from off the pace. He's probably going to have more than one dog in front of him on this occasion. we know how good he is. He ran an absolute stormer in the heat when he got crowded up at the third bend. He regained momentum. He's just a win machine. His record shows you that.
Yeah, brilliant tracker. Right, we're going to move to semi-final number 3. Now, I want you to focus on the dog that wins this race, Romeo Command. He goes in trap 1, 29.73. Now, watch his racing line to the turn here. Uncle Freddie, the other qualifier, I thought ran a stormer in trap 5. But Romeo Command, similar to Droopy's Clue, starts and stays, very classy. I'm not sure about him in trap 1 though, Tony.
No, but I've always said it. I'd rather be in that position. You take them with you. If you've got that inside line, they go where you want to go, the dogs on the outside of you. He's still getting used to the contours of Hove. It was always a track that I thought would be tailor-made for him, particularly the 5.15 metres, Dave. But this Uncle Freddie, he's absolutely run a stormer. If a dog ever deserved to get his head in front, it's Uncle Freddie, because he's just been continuously running brilliant races in defeat. He's just been running against dogs that have been bringing their A game. And Romeo Command, he's got as good a CV as any.
Yeah, running up in last year's Greyhound Derby, of course, Patrick Jensen's Romeo Command. Right, there'll be £10,000 up for grabs in Saturday's Coral Sussex Cup final. A brilliant trip, 515 metres, long run to the turn, long back straight, long run home. A true test. And here is the draw then. It'll be the 8.07 on Saturday night. Romeo Command on the inside, 15-8. Droopy's Clue, 5-4. Cloney Uriel, 12s. Uncle Freddie, 14s. Wasted Monday, 10. Newin Benny, 10. Now, anti-post, I went for King Coombs, who took a tumble in that third semi-final. He is A-OK. We wouldn't have shown it otherwise. Liz and Rad McNair report that he is A-OK. But he is out. He got eliminated. Romeo Command for Tony Bullen at 6-1. Sitting rather pretty now on the inside. What are your thoughts on this race? If you hadn't played already, how would you go about attacking this race?
No, I'd be content with what I've already got, Dave, the anti-post voucher for Romeo Command. He's going to obviously have to beat Droopy's Clue with a punch on the inside, but I think he can do that. And he's second to third pace. He's second to none. And I think if he can turn third, I'd take third on the inside, controlling the inside. I think Derek Knight's pair could be the key to the race. I think if they set the Furious fractions once again, then it just depends who is sitting in third place. If it's Droopy's Clue, then he's going to be difficult to hold because he's got the stamina, and when he sees daylight, we know how quick he is. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was a freaky result. Uncle Freddie, again, has been running out of his skin. And Wasted Monday, what a credit to Connections, lines up in the final for the second year in succession. But Command, for me, he'll be in command by the third bend.
Yeah, it's a fascinating race, this one, because you cannot argue against the fact that the two dogs on the inside are the two fastest dogs in this race. However, they are very unlikely to be first and second going into the opening turn, which I think blows this one wide open. I told you to keep an eye on Romeo Command in his semi-final out of 1. I think that 1 and 2 might come together, and if I was a layer, I might be going after both of these and trying to get some sort of result. You suggested it there, Tony, that we could see a freaky result. It's not going to be one of the early paces, though, for me. I was really taken by Uncle Freddie. I thought he chased down Romeo Command really well. If 1 and 2 tangle, it might be Cloney Uriel that cuts loose. But if Uncle Freddie can follow him through in the black jacket, he's as big as 14. He could be bigger on the day. I think he's a really good each-way play. You don't need to go mad. You don't have to have a lot on at those sort of prices. But we could get a result here against the front two in the market. They could come together. The race could be run to suit. Black jacket for me, each way in the Sussex Cup final. We'll try and bring the house down at 14-1, Uncle Freddie. Good luck if you are involved, particularly if you follow Tony. You'd be sitting pretty. 6-1, Romeo Command. Right, we're going to move on then to one of the most lucrative staying races of the year, sponsored by Premier Greyhound Racing. It is the Regency final, 695 metres. A lap and a half of the track. It's not the longest run to the turn, so the start can be crucial. But there are no hiding places here, Tony. You've got to get home.
Yeah, another good final, Dave. I mean, it looked wide open from the get-go, and it still was wide open now. There's no odds-on poke in this particular race, and this is really up for grabs.
Right, let's get to it then. First semi-final, Kudaderi Dust goes marching on. Trap 6 for Nathan Hunt. 41.58, Taka Carlo in trap 2. They are your two qualifiers. Stepping up to a stiffer 6 bends has well and truly been the making of this dog.
Yeah, he was a trial dog for me. He'd put up flashy times in solo trials, but he's become a race dog now. And this has been the making of him, stepping up to a stiff 6 bends. He was no match for New Destiny in the Coronation Cup, but he put up a fast time at Romford. And I just think the stepping stone to a stiffer 6 bends has been the making of Cooler Derry Dust. He wasn't disgraced behind Barntick Bear at Toaster, but what he's been able to do over this distance is front off. And that's a massive difference because he's one of those dogs who looks like he's going nowhere, but that's deceptive because he really covers the ground as Cooler Derry Dust. And the fact that he's put up the fastest time in both heat and semi-final tells you how quick he is.
Yeah, it's not just the fact he can front off, but he's relentless as well, isn't he? I used the expression I used sort of for Droopy's Clue, but the stride is just powerful. He's just eating up the ground, as you suggested there. And over this sort of trip, if he hits the front, there are marathon performers in behind here, but he's going to be a very, very tough nut to crack. Right, we're going to move through to semi-final number 2 then. Bubbly Sculpture, 41.73, slowest of the 3 semi-final winners. Look out for Ballymac Taylor as well. Traps 2 and 3 here, your qualifiers.
Yeah, she looked in trouble, Ballymac Taylor, in fairness. It was only her stamina that saw her qualify in the end. And she has different ways of running. Sometimes she turns really close to the pace and then she drops herself out, and she dropped herself out on this occasion. But Bubbly Sculpture, he's got form over further himself, won the Boxing Day marathon at Crayford. And again, once he had secured first run and set his sights on the pace setters, he was always going to probably come through to do what he'd done. And then it was Ballymac Taylor just running on through beaten rivals to book her place in the final. And the fact she's in the final, you're concerned because we know how good she is when everything clicks.
Yeah, she's classy. Runner-up in the TV Trophy, Durando Marathon champion as well. Semi-final number 3, early pace wins the race here. Baywatch Bullet, trap 1, 41.59, just 11 spots behind Cooler Derry Dust. Lightfoot Falcon in trap 5 for Seamus Cahill. There he qualifies traps 1 and 5. Now, incredibly, Seamus Cahill has never won the Regency, which I think is amazing because he's a man for the big nights down at Hove. Lightfoot Falcon, Baywatch Bullet, they're the 2 that go through, Tony. To have claims in the final, both are going to need to bring the trapping boots.
Maybe he should have entered Droopy's Clue then. He might have won it then. But all credit to Baywatch Bullet. She's as game as a pebble when she gets on the bunny, and that's where she shows her very best form. We've seen her at Crayford, Dave, and we know how good she is when she gets on the bunny. Kent, St Leger finalist, and her claims here are beating 1 and 3 with a punch, which she is entitled to do. I think she leads the inside runners, and it all depends what 6 does out wide. But when she's on the bunny, she's no back number. He's Baywatch Bullet, and she's got to be a big player here.
Yeah, she will be a big player if she does it right at the start. 8:41 is the time down at Hove on Saturday night for the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Regency. Let's have a look at the draw then. 695 metres. On the inside, Bubbly Sculpture 5-1, Baywatch Bullet 5-1, Ballymac Taylor, middle seed 7-2, Hacker Carlo 4s, Lightfoot Falcon. Ballymac Taylor's not a middle seed. 7-2, Hacker Carlo 4s, Lightfoot Falcon, who is a middle, 18-1. Cooler Derry Dust, the only wide, the 2-1 favourite. Now, anti-post, we're still standing. I think it's fair to say that you're sitting a little bit prettier than me at the moment, Tony. You put up Cooler Derry Dust, who I think was as big as 20s in a place, coming into this event. I, a little bit more boringly, went for Ballymac Taylor at 11-2. I am going to jump ship because I think Cooler Derry Dust will win this. However, you're looking at recent run-ins of the Regency, and you're looking at IAMS Royale, you're looking at SpaceJet last year, marathon performers, which is I went for Ballymac Taylor. If it gets messy, if it cuts up, she will be the one to pick up the pieces. But I'm going to be with Cooler Derry Dust. He's been very, very impressive. Nathan Hunt has got him absolutely spot on throughout this competition. And I think provided he misses 5, there could be a squeeze on the inside and he might be in front with a lap to go. So stripes for me. What about yourself, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to stick. How can you desert? I mean, he's set the standard in the first round when beating Bubbly Sculpture, and he's beaten Hacker Carlo on merit there in the semis. It's not like he's a dog that's he's fluked that. There was trouble in behind. He's put the pace to the race and done what he's done. All right, he's flagging the white flag after the line, but the damage is done. It's the winning line that counts, and I just think that he can control the outside and he'll show the better middle pace. I think once he's in full flight, I think he gets to the front by the 3rd or 4th bend, and then he opens up a winning advantage. You're then looking at where Bubbly Scorcher, Ballymac Taylor, even Hacker Carlo are, because Hacker Carlo's got a nice bit of all-round pace, but racing room's going to be key here, and I think Baywatch Bullet could be a little bit of a goalkeeper if she's dominating the inside runners. But if Cooladeri does what he's done in round 1 and the semis, the Regency's there for the taking.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. There you go. That is the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Regency. On Saturday night down at Hove, it will be a brilliant night of action behind the red button live on Sky Sports Racing. Well, it is that time now then to get the best bets Thursdays onwards. Any action live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service. Tony, you've been in flying form, 25 episodes down amongst the winners. Where are you taking us this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Romford, Dave. We've enjoyed mixed fortunes at Romford, but overall we've done pretty well at Romford. And I like there's a final in the 9-11, the Romford Friday night 500 standard final. And what I saw in the heat, Stone Park Champ looks likely to make the most of a good make-up. He wasn't a prolific winner, but he just started to get the taste for success in recent weeks as Maxine locked charge. Romeo Cypher led up in the heat, and Stone Park Champ come from off the pace to beat that fella on merit. I've got an inkling there's going to be a little bit of congestion on the inside, and Stone Park Champ can mind his own business, turn in the position and loom large at the 3rd bend and kick for home. So, yeah, 9-11 Romford, Stone Park Champ.
Good stuff. Right. I am going to go to Newcastle on Thursday night. A dog that caught my eye when he got beat with his middle pace. He lines up in a puppy race, the 727. His name is Silver Hill Ben. Now, he shaped with promise overnight. I think he was trained by Graham Holland. Now with Tom Hilbron. This is not a deep race on Thursday night. It's a competitive race, but if he can just find some sort of start and then we see that middle speed again, I'm happy to take a chance with Silver Hill Ben. It should be a working price as well. Their working man's price, maybe 3-1, 7-2. Very competitive race, that 727 at Newcastle on Thursday night. I'll give you a dog to look out for as well. Now, there's a bit of chat on Monday night at Nottingham. Seamus Cahill trialled a dog called Missile One with the Puppy Classic in mind. Now, Seamus doesn't travel up to Nottingham to make up the numbers. He's 3 times won the Puppy Classic with really, really nice types as well. So in the final race on Saturday night down at Hove, Missile One makes debut in a maiden. Look out for that one. Not sure what sort of price it would be, and perhaps back in debutants in the final race on an evening card is not the path to riches, but that is a dog to look out for. Well regarded, a lot of chat, a lot of whispers about Missile One, so we'll see how that one goes, and maybe we'll see that one up in the Puppy Classic at Nottingham as well, which is not too far away, but we'll get through all of this week's top class action before we do that. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let us know who you fancy. Maybe you follow Tony in and you're clutching massive prices about some of the anti-post selections heading into the finals this week. 20-1 Cooladeri Dust, maybe so. Right, do remember to enjoy the action, gamble responsibly, and we will see you next time.